Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Two Shorts, One Story. I'm your host, Matthew. How are you doing? I just came back from eating curry at Coco's Curry because I did the JLPT yesterday. So I wanted to give myself an Oatskare treat. Oatskare, by the way, is good work. Usually people say it kind of like a greeting almost, or like a set phrase. They say like, Otsukare-sama desu, otsukare, to people in their work. So it is people within your group. And I did the JLPT yesterday, so I wanted to give myself a treat. So I went to have curry. Yeah. I'm going to talk about the JLPT. But before that, I wanted to just see, how are you? How's everything going? How's your week starting? I hope it's going well. I have been trying to send a fax, which I've never had to do, but I'm trying to send a fax to Canada because I have, I think maybe I talked about it, but I'm trying to apply for repayment assistance so I don't have to pay my Alberta student loans to save some money. And I sent the application in June, but it wasn't completely correct. So I'm trying to fix that. And they told me that I could send a fax rather than sending it via mail. And I was like, that's a great idea. And I thought it would be easy, but of course, it's not easy. So hopefully I can figure that out. I'm going to call somebody today to hopefully figure out some answers about that. And we'll see what happens. I'm not too sure. But that's something that's happening. I also got an email from my car insurance last week saying that they wanted to check some stuff, which kind of made me worried, but I decided to leave that until today, the day that I'm recording this, which is Monday, because I need to focus on the JLPT. Anyways, I thought it would be harder than it was, but just checking some stuff, so it was all good. Yeah. And I also wanted to apologize for last week because I recorded the episode and then I was listening back to it. My English is just terrible, sorry. And I was like the wolf and from the Three Pigs because I was huffing and puffing. It was crazy. I was so close to the mic last time that you could just hear me breathe, and that's not something that you want to listen to. I don't want you to listen to that either. So I'm going to be more conscious of where I am in front of my mic because I tend to be quite close to my mic, but that you'll hear every time I aspirate. So we don't want that. So just wanted to apologize for that. And now to the JLPT. The moment you've all been waiting for, maybe. I've been talking about, the JLPT this whole month, pretty much. Just saying I've been studying for it and blah, blah, blah. But yesterday I took the test. And I want to just go over the whole process of everything that happened, how I felt, what I did, that kind of stuff. So it might be a long episode, so please grab some tea or whatever you like to drink. Maybe some snacks, some chocolate. And please listen to my adventure-filled weekend. Not. So last week I was studying every day, just working on anything that I needed to iron out. So I did grammar, I did listening, reading. I was really happy because maybe last Sunday or the Sunday before that, I did a practice test on Boom Pro and I did so well on the reading. I was so happy with myself. I got 24 out of 25, and I did really good on the other portions as well, I thought anyways. Then I did another practice test last week, and I did not do so well, so that was not great. And then I did another one on Thursday, another Boom Pro test, maybe Friday, and same, like I did not do very well on the grammar or listening or reading. It just was not good, and I didn't feel very good about that. So that wasn't the best thing. Saturday, I wake up, I clean, I finish my packing, and I go to McDonald's before my trip starts because I want a treat. So I got 10 chicken nuggets. I got 1 vanilla milkshake, which I never get because I'm on a diet. But last week I kind of just stopped with exercising and dieting because the test is happening. So anyways, I had McDonald's, and then I went on my trip. And I decided to go the long way to save money, which was a difficult thing to do. It takes about 2 hours and a half to get to Gifu City from Takayama. If you're not using toll roads, it takes about 1 hour and 30 minutes. If you're not taking the toll, if you are taking the toll road, sorry. For those who don't know, like, I don't think in Canada we have to pay to use the highways. I don't remember. If you are Canadian and you're listening to this podcast, please let me know, because I don't think we do. But in Japan, you do have to pay for highway use. So you have, you go through like a gate, and there's some options. You can go do general, or you can do ETC. ETC is like a card that you can put in your car, and it connects to your credit card. I have one, so it's really easy for me to use the toll roads, but I decided that I didn't want to do that. Instead, I would save about 2,000 yen or $20 equivalent and drive 2 hours and a half to Gifu City. And it was hard. It's just slow because they're not driving on a highway, and I was just tired. Anyways, I make it fine. I made it to the hotel, and I just sat down for like, I just laid down on the bed for a long time. And then I decided to get some food, and I had a little bit of a heart attack because I thought I forgot my wristwatch, which you need for the test, so you can make sure that you're on time. But I did have it. So then I drive to the closest Lawson to get my normal meal, which is just kareage-kun, which are like little chicken bites. There's different flavors. I like regular or lemon. And I got a katsu sando. So it's like a pork cutlet sandwich, and there's different flavors. I like the one without egg. So I got that. I got some chocolate, and I got a Coca-Cola Zero. And I watch I watch a drama that I'm watching. It's called, I don't know the full name, but in the short name is Nige Hachi. It's like running away and shame. Basically, the premise of the story is, maybe I talked about last week, I don't remember, but there is this girl. She gets fired from her job. She has she's a graduate student that graduated and decided to move on and work in a company, and rather than work in I don't know, whatever she could have done. But she wanted to work in a company, and she was doing really well, I think, but she got fired from her job. And obviously she wants to get money, she wants to do things. So somehow she gets connected with this guy who works at IT, and he needs a housewife or like a maid that can clean his house. And because of that, somehow during the story, she asks him if they could be contractually married. So they have the benefits, but they're not actually like in love or anything. Or so you think. So I was watching that. And then after that, I did 2 little tests with Nihongo no Mori, Japanese forest. And I did really well. And then I just kind of got ready for the day at the Sunday, the day of the test. I finished, I wrote to myself a message before I went to the onsen in my hotel. There's a little, not an onsen, but there's a sento, a public bath. So I wrote myself a message just to, I really, really wanted to pass this test. So I wrote a message and I should find it. So just a minute, I'll get it. Okay, I got it. So just preface, I'm a sentimental person, if you haven't noticed. And there's a lot of emotion with this test because I've done this test 3 times already. This is the 4th time. I just want to be done. I just want to be done this test. I'm hyping myself up to do this test, to do well. But also in the back of my mind, I'm having doubts. Like, what if I don't pass? What if I fail again? That kind of stuff, which is hard. So I really had to get past that. So if I did have those thoughts, like, oh, I did bad on this test, like, I'm going to fail, I just tried to ignore that. And I just studied what I did wrong, that kind of stuff. But anyways, this is the message. Tomorrow's the day. Tomorrow is the day you pass. You have worked harder than you ever have before. You maybe didn't get headaches, but your neck and back hurt quite a lot. Bracket. So much that you had to do stretches and take medicine. So this is in reference to my friend Liam, who said, you got to have headaches like every day. That's how much you need to study. And I did not have a headache, but my back hurt so much. Anyways, next. You worked with a tutor, Yoko sensei, who showed you that you can answer the questions. You're good at reading. You can do narabikae. You can pass. Her words should ring in your heart. If you feel nervous, raise the corners of your mouth. Basically, just smile. So she wrote that to me, or she sent a message after our last meeting last week, just saying that, like, if you're nervous, just smile. She was always very kind tutor, as all tutors should be. She was very encouraging to me, and she helped me a lot with a lot of stuff, answer my questions. We did so much stuff, but yeah, she always showed me that I could do it. I'm good at reading. I could do it. And she's like, you do understand the reading. So that was good. Anyways, next. Your friends, teachers, students, and family are cheering you on. They are praying for your success. You got to Japan with their help. You can pass this test. So yeah, I have many, many friends and teachers that I've told, and students. I actually told my students on Friday that this is the goal, I'm going to pass this test and I'm going to get a Nintendo Switch. And one of them was so nice, and they said, test fight though. And I was like, thank you. So that was really nice. And you've done this test 3 times already. You know what to expect. This time you will get 19 plus on all sections, and you will get way over 100 points. You can do it. You can get that Switch. I really, really wanted that Switch. But yeah, for those who don't know about the JLPT, you have to get 19 or above on all 3 sections. So that's grammar, vocab, reading, and listening. and you have to get 100 or over to pass the test. The last time I took this test, I did get 19 or above, but I did not get 100, unfortunately. So then I'm giving myself some success, or not, I'm giving myself advice. Be quick, but also take your time. You have it. And I wrote the time that I needed to do. Grammar plus vocab, 30 minutes. Reading, 1 hour and 10 minutes. Extra time, 10 minutes. This is how you've done in practice tests. You can for sure do it tomorrow. Also, if a question, what should I even write here? Stresses you, that's what I wrote. If a question stresses you out or makes you panic, you can skip it. No worries. Just come back to it later and watch the answer sheet. You got this. That's what I wrote. So I wrote that, and I went to the Sento to just relax. And then I went to bed and had a hard time sleeping, but I did go to bed early. I woke up the next day feeling good, feeling calm, kind of like solemn. I went to Lawson to get onigiri, which is my carbohydrates, and I bought myself the day prior, I bought 2 protein bars and some deluxe nuts. And I drove to the university, and I was so worried about parking, but it was fine. So easy to park. And I walk in, I find the classroom, I sit down, I'm there like at 8:30. The test starts at 9:10. And just waiting for everybody. People go in. I'm thinking about the test. I'm praying. I'm trying to focus. I'm smiling. I'm trying to, do what my teacher said. I'm not nervous, but it's just a calm, but not a good calm, if that makes sense. It wasn't great. And then I start taking the test. We do everything and I take the test. And prior to this test, what I have done is I just did reading first, and then I would go to vocab grammar. This time, I did vocab grammar, and then I went and did the reading from question 12, and then I did question 12, question 13, then I did question 10, question 11, and then I went from 8 to 9. The reason being is because question 12 is the largest text and it takes the most energy. So I do that at the start. And then it gets smaller. And that worked well until I finished. I think I was that's what happened. I started answering question 9, thinking that was the last one, but I forgot to do question 8. So I was like, halfway doing question 9, I realized that I still had another section to do. Mind you, this one was like just small reading, so it doesn't take that much time, but I was like, oh no. So I quickly hurried and finished that section. I had maybe, 10 minutes to finish. I had the goal of finishing like with 10 minutes to spare, and I did. And I went and changed some of my answers for the reading that I didn't have time for, and that was it. The vocab was actually, I was really happy about the vocab, because usually when I do the first section, like question 1, you get 6 vocab words, and I have no clue what they are. Absolutely no clue. But this time I knew 3 out of the 6. That was great. And I did okay with the other vocab stuff. I did okay with the grammar stuff. And usually with the grammar, there's some questions that I'm really confident about, and I'll just like, yeah, that's it. This time I kind of had some trouble. with like thinking it's this answer or that one. I was always debating. Um, the Narabi Kaya is so difficult. Narabi Kaya, by the way, is you have a sentence and then there's 4 lines in the middle and one of the lines has a star and then you get 4 options, and what those options are is an order to the sentence or the word. So there's a specific order in which those words or grammar goes into, and whatever is the word that goes into the star is the answer. So you have to kind of figure it out. And usually I'm good when I do practice tests, but they're easier. It's just so hard with the vocab, or the grammar in JLPT N1. It's absolutely crazy. So anyways, I did that. I wasn't too sure how that went. And then the last part of the grammar is, it's called Bun no Bunsho, so the grammar of sentences. So basically, as you get like a gap, you'll get 4 options and you have to figure out what goes into that blank. And the way you do that is by looking at the sentences before and after and trying to figure out what goes there. So for example, it's hot. I want ice cream. So, it's hot. So is it but or so? And you get 2 other options, but you would know it's so because they're the same. Or it's a reasoning, but that kind of stuff. So that's what that one is. And I have some trouble. Like I always get like 3 right out of 5. This one was out of 4. Yeah. And then the reading was so difficult. Usually with reading, when I understand, it's because the reading is interesting and I'm more invested and I can understand it. It also could be the vice versa, where if I understand it, it's interesting. But I had so much trouble understanding the readings this time, which is just so upsetting because I do reading all the time. I read so much stuff. Like I read a doctor series for fun. It shouldn't be that hard to read this content, but I just had such a hard time, and I felt okay with my reading or my vocab and my grammar, but my reading, I did not feel good about it, and that wasn't good. That wasn't a good feeling to have. But what can you do? I did the test, I finished. I was rushing a little bit, but not like I was last time, so that was better. And you just finish the test and you have to move on. So I walked around, I went to the bathroom, I ate some nuts, just to preparing myself for the last part of the test, listening. So I'm just focusing on concentrating. I wrote that on the test, just concentrate, open ears, just like that. And I think I did really well, like the best I've ever done in listening. I really listened and I did good. But I didn't know how to feel about the test overall. Like I called my mom after and I just, she asked how it was and I said it was okay. But I did not know if I passed or not. The reading was so difficult this time, which is unfortunate because I've taken it 4 times. This is my 4th time taking the JLPT N1. It's my 6th time overall taking a JLPT. It's devastating if I fail the test. I just want to be done. I wasn't too happy with how it went, unfortunately. So after that, I went to McDonald's and I got a little meal. I went to the gas station, filled my car with gas, went to the Gomini, got a drink, and drove home. And I was speeding. I just wanted to go home so badly. And I was going to eat curry the day before, but I just decided that I just wanted to go home. I was sad. So I went and I just kind of rotted. I decided to play Pokemon Champions, which is a new Pokemon game that you can play on your phone as well. So I started doing that, and that was nice. But I know that these answers will be leaked. There's people that do these tests that will put them on the internet. And it's a whole thing. I've known about this from day 2 or the second time because my friend Liam told me. And I was debating on looking or not, but I decided to look, and maybe that was a bad idea because I checked my grammar. I did pretty well. I checked my vocab. I did really well. Checked my listening. I did great. And I checked my reading, and I did not do so well. According to the answers that were on the thing, I only got 3 right, which was so embarrassing, and I just can't believe it. So it was hard, I was just so devastated. Like, I've taken this test 4 times. I've studied so hard for this test. Like, I thought I did a lot for the 3rd exam. No, I did way more this time around. And it just sucks that I might not pass. But I was talking to my friend, and he was saying that you don't know until August when they come up. So I'm really gonna just have faith that I passed the test because I don't want to take it again. I'm exhausted. It was it's hard. And it's just like I do really well in one section, and I just do so bad in one section, and it's just so difficult, especially because it's reading. I've done reading before. It's just not a good feeling. So I was not happy. Yeah, not good. But it's not the end of the world. And the test it's just a test. If I fail or not, it doesn't show my proficiency in Japanese. Really, the JLPT is not a great marker for your proficiency or fluency. Yeah, so I just have to keep that in mind, and I have to be positive that somehow I passed. And if not, I know what I'm going to do. I'm just going to read way more than I have been doing, because that seems to be the thing that will fix my test score. But yeah. So today in the morning, I was a little bit sad. Just also I was really tired because I couldn't go to sleep that well yesterday. But I have to be happy in front of the kids because it's not fair for them to be sad because of my stuff. So I'm being happy, like, oh, I played Pokemon Champions yesterday, that kind of stuff. That was nice. I'm gonna play some more after this. And the one thing that I remember my sensei saying, it was so good that you didn't quit. I have taken this test 3 times, and I'm not gonna quit. Because quitting is the worst thing you can do, because you'll forget everything that you studied for. So I'm going to take a little tiny break just to get back into it. But I've already started reading books. I'm reading a book about language acquisition in Japanese. It's such a riveting book. But I got this book a while ago, but I just kind of I didn't read it because I was reading other books, but it's a fun book, and I decided to maybe challenge myself by reading nonfiction and fiction in the same day, because I can get a little bit of both. Just read whatever I want to, So that is the plan. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to read, and I want to get better at my speaking, and my friend, Caleb, you may know him. Caleb has been on the podcast twice already, and he is a great friend of mine. He is very motivated to study Japanese like me. He did pass the N1 in winter last year, so that was awesome for him. And yeah, he told me that he is doing voice chats on HelloTalk, which is an app that you can text people of the language that you're learning, and it's like a language exchange app. But they also have voice rooms that you can make and join, and you can like post stuff like Instagram. So it's a really nice way to build a community, and it's kind of hard to find like a dedicated place to speak Japanese, especially for me because I don't have a girlfriend. So I'm going to try that today maybe and see how that goes, and maybe continue on that. So I am not giving up, even though I may have not passed the test, but again, got to be positive. I don't know. Yeah. So it's been kind of an emotional roller coaster for sure. But yeah, life moves on. So I hope that if you took the JLPT, I hope it went well for you. I hope that you are for certain that you are more certain than me that you passed, because I'm not very certain. But yeah, I am going to go, and thank you so much for listening to me ramble about the JLPT. As always, this episode is episode 80, by the way, which is really, really exciting. I think by the end of the year, we will make it to episode 100. I can't believe it. I really can't believe it. So I'm excited to produce more episodes for you. I'm really grateful that you're listening to me talk about everything and all stuff about Japan. If you do have any questions or requests for an episode, please let me know on Instagram. I'm most active on there. You can follow me by searching two stories underscore. No, sorry. What's my podcast called? Oh my gosh, that's embarrassing. 2 shores underscore 1 story is my podcast episode, podcast name. You can follow me on there. I have a Facebook group too, email. Yeah, anything. Please let me know. I would love to talk with you. And again, thank you so much for listening. And that is the end of this episode. So I will see you later.